Holy fuck. What an eventful day it has been, and it's only like 3 p.m. I saved somebody's life, so that's pretty exciting. Let me just recap it. I had to go down to Ray's restaurant. Some of you may know that I work at my grandmother's restaurant, and I get in there at 9 o'clock, and the first thing that I see, like nothing. I walk in the door, and my mother's a waitress there, and she's on the ground, face down, fell, broke a coffee pot, hurt her shoulder, cut her nose was bleeding, cut her hands a little bit, and there's people around, it's a pretty tight, knit like community and stuff like that. A lot of regulars were in there, and they were helping her and everything. But she was running around because I was coming in and they were busy, and there wasn't a lot of there was no other help really in the front. So she's down, and I come in. I'm like, what? It's immediate. It's immediate. The first thing I see, there's just people around her. I'm like, what's happening? Oh, she's on the ground. So then I try to assist with that. I think she's okay. I mean, she as far as her her health wise there, her shoulder's gonna be hurting, because I thought it was slightly comical that she hurt her shoulder, not that she was hurt, but I've had several shoulder problems in the last 3 months, so I thought it was just coincidental, comedic in that regard. But yeah, she did that. I think she's gonna be okay. I'll keep you updated on that or whatever, but I don't think that's extremely severe. It was more just craziness, but she's in a little bit of pain there. Okay, so then we're going throughout the day, and I'm hustling around, doing all this sort of stuff and everything, and we got all that cleaned up, and the day wasn't bad. It always seems like that when stuff like that happens. Generally you don't end up having to deal with too much other shit after that. So luckily, it wasn't too bad. Day was okay. She's in a little bit of pain. She'll go get checked out, whatever. But the end of the day, near the end of the day, where there's maybe a couple tables left, and I am, we're trying to, get cleaned up, wind down or whatever, and there's two people sitting over in the corner, a man and a woman, and I am ringing somebody out at the cash register, another party, and as soon as that's over, as soon as I'm done ringing that out, or right as that's going on, the gentleman at the table in that corner gets up and starts walking towards where our bathroom is, and then they're there's an exchange of words between the woman and the man, and all you start to hear is oh my god, he's choking, and I'm trying to replay this back in my head exactly how it was. So you see, he's going there, and I can see him because it's about probably maybe 30 feet away, 20 to 30 feet away, and I can see it, and he is visibly not maybe he coughed once, but there's always the thing where people hear you choking, and oh, he's choking, and if you are coughing, that means that your airway isn't completely clogged. I'm not a medical professional, by the way. I want to highlight this right now. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, so don't listen to me. But from what I've heard, when you're coughing, you're not asphyxiating, your airway isn't blocked. That makes sense. I think that's right? But when you're not coughing or anything, and you're and nothing's coming out, then you're actually choking, and that's what was happening here. He wasn't coughing, went down the wrong pipe thing. His airway was clogged, and he was eating a roast beef sandwich, I guess, right? Is what he ordered. So he is asphyxiating, walking towards the bathroom, this little back room area that we have, and then my mom's 911 or whatever, call 911. He's joking. So I called 911. I dialed 911, and then I walk over there, and another one of our customers tries to go over and kind of pat him, to see if he can get it out initially, and that wasn't really working. So then I gave the phone to my mom, and I went over there, and I know nothing. I don't know how to do this. I'm not medical. Nothing about me is medical oriented, healthcare, EMS, whatever. But I go over there, and all I remember is the heimlich. You're supposed to put I think 2 or 3 fingers above the belly button or something like that, and just kind of press, because you're trying to get it to go back up. And I just went behind him, and I did that, and probably did it 20 times. I wish there was cameras in there so I could see like if I was doing it right or what actually happened, because it's just all based off memory. But like I did that like a bunch of times, and he was like, you know, kind of coming to, like, as far as like, you know, it sounded he was getting like a couple things out, and then eventually like he started like hunch over and he almost like went to the ground, and he was like really trying to get it out or whatever. And sorry if this is gross, but then he actually did. It was like a pretty big like ball of like what he was eating, like roast beef or whatever. So it's really fucking wild. and he got it, and then he was like, you know, chill out and everything. So the moral of the story, I didn't want this to be like crazy long, and I don't want to be like, you know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. Oh, I saved somebody's life. I was like, I don't know if he might have been fine. If, you know, I'm happy that he is in a better state than when I, you know, saw him choking, right? Obviously, I'm happy that I did that. So, but just like there's the story, and then just, you know, to think about it, and to think about like the, you know, the rest of it there. I just think it's really interesting, or the pieces that I want to highlight are, and the things that I learned from that situation. Let's do that, because that's the way I like to roll, right? What happened and what I like to learn from that situation, and maybe other people can benefit from that as well. What I would say from that situation, what that taught me, is got to be fast. You know, you got to be fast acting. So I'm happy that I did that, and I jumped in there because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I just, you know, I tried to do my best, and I guess it worked. So definitely fast, act fast. Don't hesitate. Just try to do what you want to do, or try to do what you think you need to do. The other thing though is it did tell me that like there was a piece after. So like he was obviously not choking anymore, but I was like, oh, maybe some water. But my mom was on the phone with 911, and they said no water, don't drink anything, don't eat anything. I thought water, you know, maybe to clear it up, but I guess I understand why that makes sense, because you just went through a lot of trauma there. You probably don't want to fuck with it. So that was, you might not be able to like swallow or whatever. It's kind of like throwing up, I guess, in a way. Like you don't really want to, you know, there's just trauma there. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But anyway, that makes sense. So that's the first thing, is like, I would like to know, I need to go home and quickly, you know, like research like what happens if that ever happens again. Like know exactly kind of like what to do, where to do, all that sort of stuff, as far as like, you know, the heimlich. And then also, you know, right after, because what happened was he was like hunched over, and I got him to do that, and I didn't know if I should pick him back up or whatever. Obviously it all happened real fast, but if I know that in advance, then maybe I'll remember that in the time. The other quick thing is, after he was done choking as well, I didn't know, like, I thought maybe I thought sit him up and just put him up against like a wall, like sitting like this, so like your airway is like, you know, clear again. But I think my mother and like the EMS might have said on their side or something. So again, just like little things like that, I think would be important. I think most people should not do this. Thank God I didn't have to perform like CPR, because I think that's way harder than the Heimlich maneuver, but I should probably figure that out just to understand that as well, just in case I ever have to do that. And yeah, I'm not trying to become an EMS professional. I don't want to have to, you know, deal with this on a regular basis, but it's good to know that sort of stuff, because this was, you know, just a stranger that I did that to. But, you know, if it's somebody that you love, there's probably even more emotion, you know, going. Because that's another thing too, is like, I noticed that about myself. I was just kind of like, do it and do it and what I needed to do. But right after, you know, I wasn't super emotional or anything. Like I was obviously happy the guy is fine. But that's the thing, is also staying calm, acting fast, staying calm. I think is important. Knowing what to do, obviously, is extremely important. And then the only other thing is, it literally took, and this is probably specific to the area, I guess, or whatever. But from the time we called 911 to the time they got there, it was no joke, at minimum 10 minutes. Like if he was actually, like if I didn't do that, or I'm gonna let's assume that he was really choking and he was really gonna die, he would have been dead. Like, I mean, I don't know how long it takes to die from asphyxiation, but I feel like you know, that is extremely unacceptable as far as response time. But that's, you know, I guess neither here nor there. That's just the specific thing. So that's pretty upsetting, disappointing there. But it just speaks to all the other stuff. You got to make sure that you have knowledge. You got to act fast. You got to be calm. I'm happy that it happened. Well, not happy that it happened. I'm happy that it was resolved. It was kind of wild, and yeah, so that's all I got. It's been an eventful day. I'll let you know if anything else crazy happens today.